What it is, everybody? It's your boy Richie the Monster, aka Monster Big Boss, and you already know it's Sports Vibes Podcast. With you know the vibes, man. Listen, back with another week. Today is the day. The NBA season starts today, tonight. Okay, so we gonna jump into all the NBA. You know, I got NBA predictions, all of that good stuff. Got some contract news that we're gonna talk about in the NBA. So definitely have to kill that. Again, college football. Oof, had some. You know what I'm saying, had some pretty good games this past week. You know what I'm saying, had a big dog fall to another big dog that's smaller than them. I don't even know how to explain it. And it was just upset week in the NFL. Like NFL this week, upset week. That's the only way that I could subscribe this. That's the only way that I can explain it. Excuse me. So we're gonna jump into all of that. So just make sure you stay tuned, man. All right, week 7 of the college football season, and this week, obviously, let's just get out the way. Big game, Tennessee at Alabama. Number 6 Tennessee versus number 3 Alabama. Now, this is obviously probably the biggest matchup we've had essentially all year. I don't think Alabama Texas A&M was that big of a deal, but Tennessee, listen, Tennessee is legitness. All right, Tennessee is not playing this year, and again, I thought, it was like, okay, Tennessee's having this great year. They smacked Florida. They've been doing their thing. Let me see what they do up against Alabama, and they proved it. All right, 52-49, high scoring game. It was said at first that Bryce Young, quarterback for Alabama, probably wasn't gonna play. So obviously everybody was jumping on Tennessee's bandwagon, as they should have, because boy, listen, Tennessee. Whew, I'm looking at it right now. Hendon Hooker, listen, Alabama, they couldn't stop Hooker. They could not stop my boy at all. He was 21 of 30 for 385, 5 touchdowns and a pick. 5 touchdowns, and then this the thing. This the thing. All his touchdowns to one receiver. All his touchdowns to one receiver. Jalen Hyde. Like, what? Did you not cover him? Like, come on, Nick Saban, can you not cover? But oh my God, I mean, hold on, he had 6 receptions, 207 and 5 TDs. Woo, that is crazy. Listen, Tennessee, I can't even believe it. Bryce Young on the flip side, 35 of 52, 455 yards, 2 TDs, no picks. This man almost threw for 500 yards. Goodness. And they still lost? And then for Alabama, Jahmyr Gibbs he was running all over Tennessee. 24 carries, 103 yards, 3 touchdowns, but it didn't matter. I mean, I'm talking about down to the wire game. Tennessee took it 52-49. So now I'm kind of looking at, like the state of the college football playoffs. Obviously, okay, Bama has 1 loss. I still think Bama's going to win the SEC West and then play the winner of the Georgia-Tennessee game. Whoever wins the Georgia-Tennessee game is obviously going to win the SEC West, and then they're going to play Bama. And so my thing is, it's going to be tough. I don't see a scenario where 3 SEC teams get into the playoffs. I just don't think it's going to happen. Cause look, if Bama wins the SEC West, let's say they play Georgia. If they lose, I don't think they put Bama in there with 2 losses, right? If, let's say, Tennessee loses, okay, to Georgia, then Georgia plays Bama in the SEC championship game. Oof. Because then each team would only have 1 loss. I don't know. I just can't see it. I can't see it. Tennessee would have to beat. But if Tennessee beats Georgia and they beat Alabama, I think they deserve to get into the playoff. In all honesty, even if they lose, you know, even if they lose. Now, if Tennessee runs the table, if Georgia loses and they beat Alabama in the SEC championship game, I think they might have to jump to number one. Well, excuse me, that the winner of that Ohio State. All right, this is how I'm looking at it. Let me break all this down. 4 teams make the playoffs, right? I think the winner of the Big Ten is gonna make it, right? So that's either Ohio State or Michigan. One of them 2 teams is gonna make it to the playoff, right? Boom. If UCLA runs the table and remains undefeated, as much as we don't necessarily like the Pac-10, you know what I'm saying? As much as we necessarily don't like the Pac-10, I can't. If they run the table, if they run the table, hold on, let me see. Let me look at the Pac-12. If UCLA runs the table, I mean, I don't see how you don't put them in, because that means they would have to beat Oregon, excuse me, USC, like they would have to run the entire table. Ugh. Yeah. Okay. So if UCLA goes undefeated, I think they deserve to get in. The one I'm kind of iffy about is Clemson, because Clemson hasn't, what I'm saying? Of course, Clemson, they deserve, everything again. They are undefeated, and you can only play who's in front of you, and it's not their fault that the ACC is so weak, especially this year. Like, I mean, if Clemson runs the table, wins the ACC, I think they deserve to get in too. So that's 3 spots. So now you only got 1 spot left. No, excuse me. That's 2 spots. No, that's 3. Clemson, UCLA, Michigan or Ohio State, and then 1 SEC team. Oof. I don't know, man. I can't even call it. I can't even call it. We just gonna have to wait and see. I mean, it sucks to say that, but that's because the winner of the Pac-12 might have 1 loss, or they could be undefeated. You know what I'm saying? Like, I just don't know. Oof. I just don't know. But we'll see what happens. But right now, I got winner of Big 12, Clemson if they run the table, win the ACC. Whoever wins the SEC, and then if only UCLA is the only one that has a chance. I think if anybody else wins the Pac-12, because I thought USC was going to win the Pac-12 so they just lost to Utah, so which is not a bad loss. Utah was ranked, so it is what it is. But right now, so I'll do UCLA, winner of Michigan, Ohio State, Clemson, and whoever wins the SEC. Oof, that's gonna be crazy. Oh yeah, I ain't gonna lie. I think this year's college football playoff is gonna be kind of crazy. But again, that was the biggest game of the week. Was Tennessee beating Alabama 52-49. And I just want to say another thing. So the Volunteers, the Tennessee's fans, they stormed the field after. I think they took down either one. I know at least 1 goalpost. I don't know if they took down 2, but the NCAA fined Tennessee for that. To me, that made no sense. Like, what? It wasn't like they played in Tuscaloosa and the fans stormed in Tuscaloosa and broke up all their stuff. They broke up their own stuff. Just let them fix it. Like, what does the NCAA have to get involved for? I mean, but I understand, they don't want big, large crowds. People can get hurt, stampeded, but, whatever. But still, it's just like, they just beat arguably their best win of the last, however long. you know, I mean, I can't remember the last time Tennessee beat, a top 5 school, in all honesty. But, it is what it is. Run through the rest of the games. Georgia smacked Vanderbilt 55-0. Clemson just beat out Florida State 34-28. And that's another reason why I'm like a little iffy with Clemson, because it's not like they're completely dominating their opponents. Like, they done had some pretty close games this year. I mean, Alabama done had some close games too, but it's just like, I don't know. I don't know what to make of it. Michigan, they beat Penn State 41-17. They smacked them. Again, like I said, USC fell to Utah 43-42. I mean, Utah, listen, some big cojones. They went for 2 at the end of the game, and they got it. I mean, hey, listen, you win some, you lose some. You feel me? TCU, they just etched out Oklahoma State 43-40. That was a big game in the Big 12. I think TCU is now, I think they're in the top 10, if I'm not mistaken. I got to look at the rankings. Ole Miss, they beat Auburn. Auburn is trash. Syracuse still undefeated. But they play Clemson this week, so both of those teams are undefeated. Now, if Clemson loses to Syracuse, Clemson's not making the playoffs. I'm sorry. Now, if Syracuse goes undefeated in the ACC and wins the ACC, maybe. But yeah, Syracuse, they beat NC State 24-9. Kentucky, they smacked Mississippi State 27-17. Oklahoma finally won a game. Thank goodness. They finally did something right. They beat Kansas 52-42. Crazy high scoring game, that game. Texas, they just etched out Iowa State 24-21. Illinois beat Minnesota 26-14. And number 25, James Madison, they lost to Georgia Southern 45-38. Now, I just want to say, I don't know what it is that the committee has against UCF, because UCF put up 70 on Temple. Now, granted, obviously Temple is nothing to write home about, but I'm just saying, I mean, UCF only has, one loss, and they just put up 70, and they've beat a couple, I think when they beat, let me see, American Conference. Yeah, they let me see who they beat. Cause I'm saying that to say this, cause I went to the UCF game last Thursday, right, when they put up 70 on Temple, their Space U game or whatever, and it was that UCF crowd is live, and those UCF uniforms was crazy. Them uniforms was wicked. You feel me? I was on the sideline. I almost tried to grab one up. Like, you feel me? Yeah, so UCF, they lost to Louisville. I mean, yeah, it's a bad loss, but, I'm still thinking, like they played some, some decent, people. I mean, Georgia Tech, SMU, FAU, like, these are all credit. Again, they're not nobodies, but I think UCF should be ranked. If James Madison could be ranked, and then who was ranked at the bottom last week that I was like, oh my goodness, like, what? Oh, I'm sorry. It's this week. Tulane is ranked. And nothing wrong against Tulane. They got great players. They doing their thing. But come on, man. UCF is a credited program that has guys that could probably play at the next level. Like, what are we talking about here? But if I'm be honest, I really just think the NCAA is just trying to punish UCF. Ever since UCF self-proclaimed them the national championships that year, was that 2017 or whatever, when they went undefeated and all that stuff, I think, the committee has been very harsh on UCF. But UCF deserves to be ranked. You feel me? There's no question about it. All right, looking forward to next week. This week's matchups. We got Ohio State, number 2 Ohio State taking on Iowa. Tennessee jumped up to number 3. They're taking on UT Martin. They're going to destroy them. Like I said, number 14 Syracuse, number 5 Clemson. Number 21, Cincinnati's taking on SMU. Ole Miss in the top 10. Okay, Ole Miss. Ole Miss number 7, they taking on LSU. UCLA still undefeated. They play Oregon this year, so that's the number 9 UCLA versus number 10 Oregon. I think that's going to be a good game. Got number 20 Texas versus number 11 Oklahoma State. Boston College versus number 13 Wake Forest. Memphis is taking on Tulane. Tulane is ranked 25. Mississippi State is playing Alabama. Alabama dropped to 6. Mississippi State's 24. Penn State dropped to 16. Minnesota, they're playing Minnesota this week. And at number 17, Kansas State is taking on number 8 TCU. So some good matchups this week. You feel me? Like I'm definitely looking forward to that Syracuse Clemson game, and Mississippi State Alabama I think will be interesting as well. So you know what I'm saying, we'll look for those. Now on to the NFL. And when I say upset week in all honesty. First and foremost, we're going to start with the Thursday night game. Low-key, another boring Thursday night football game. I don't know what it is. And I know Amazon is upset with themselves because they done took over Thursday night football. And every matchup we done got on Thursday night, at least for the last couple weeks, have just been pure ass. But even though this was a low-scoring ass game, it was very interesting. It really did come down to that final minute, in all honesty. But the Commanders, they squeaked out a win against the Bears, 12-7. I'm looking at the box score right now. No touchdowns or interceptions for Carson Wentz. I mean, that's okay for Carson Wentz, it is. But he was 12 of 22 for only 99 yards. Just terrible stats. Justin Fields wasn't much better. 14 of 27 for 190, a pick and a touchdown. Again, very low-scoring game. The Bears' offensive line, arguably the worst in the NFL. They're going to get Justin Fields hurt, essentially. I feel bad for him, but not really, because it's the Bears. What do you expect? They traded away their best player in Khalil Mack for what? But, listen, they're the Bears. I don't want to talk bad about the Bears. The Commanders, just trash. There's no point in even talking about either one of them. But just get out the way. My Jags, we lost to the Colts in Indy. With this game, all right, this is what I'm going to say, right? This is what I'm going to say. Again, Trevor Lawrence, I think, played a pretty okay game. 20 of 22, 165 yards, 1 touchdown, no picks. So he had a very high completion percentage. But what I'm noticing, or what I'm seeing, is the shots down the field are ill-advised. I do think, what's the word I'm looking for? I think Trevor Lawrence needs a receiver that he just has ridiculous rapport with. Somebody that he needs to build a security blanket, essentially. Kind of like how last year Aaron Rodgers had Devontae Adams, Patrick Mahomes with Travis Kelce. I know those type of relationships take time, are built upon over years. But I think we need a receiver that's dynamic and just has a great rapport, Jamar Chase and Joe Burrow. That type of, they didn't come in together, but they played at LSU together, so they had rapport from back then. And I know the Jags, drafting ETN, and were oh, him and Trevor Lawrence played at Clemson either. But he plays a running back position. He's not a wide receiver. I think it's a little different. Because a lot of the throws that I saw, especially, like I said, down the field with Trevor Lawrence, is just I see it. I see the potential. I see Trevor Lawrence. He's a decent quarterback. But I need to see it, if you know what I'm saying. I need you to do it on a consistent basis. You feel what I'm saying, Trevor? That's all it is. But, I love Trevor Lawrence. I'm not going to talk bad about him. Definitely slide into that Jaguars Giants game next week, but we're gonna talk about that. But yeah, so T Law, you know what I'm saying? Like I said, pretty decent average game for him. Matt Ryan, on the other hand, I mean, they were just slinging the ball every play. Matt Ryan threw the ball 58 times. He was 42 of 58 for 389, 3 touchdowns, no picks. Okay, that's pretty good for Matt Ryan. But I mean, a division game. I expected us to win this one, especially the way we blew them out in Jacksonville. But we always have those, these type of things. I'm not too worried, but would I like to beat them? Yes, I'd rather be 3-3 than 2-4. That's just me though. First upset that we want to talk about of the day is definitely the Falcons over the 49ers. I mean, I was just praising the 49ers last week about how they have arguably one of the best defenses in the NFL. Like, I'm, you know, I know 49ers fans was jumping for joy, but to the Falcons? To the like hold on. Let me just make sure I'm not tripping. To the Falcons. Okay. Okay. That's cool. I mean, I know you was on the road, San Francisco, but come on. I mean, Jimmy G, 29 of 41, 2 touchdowns, 2 picks, 296 yards. Typical Jimmy G game. I mean, Jimmy G probably going to give it to the other team at least once. Threw 2 picks in this game. But Mariota was 13 of 14, for 129 yards, 2 touchdowns, no picks. They really made an emphasis to run the ball. Mariota also had a rushing touchdown. He had 6 carries for 50 yards. Like, the Falcons, they're utilizing Marcus Mariota like how he low-key kind of should be used. Like a lot of RPO, getting him on the move, really using his legs to push the ball down the field. But, I mean, the Falcons had 168 yards on the ground, and that's without Cordell Patterson. Like, he's hurt. He's on the IR. So I'm just like, I don't know. You know what I'm saying, with the Niners. Like, now I'm starting to look at them like, are you sure you gonna win the NFC West? But I think they're still in pretty good shape because, I mean, the Rams haven't looked like the Rams, and then the Cardinals are just whatever. I mean, the Seahawks might give the 49ers a run for this division. But, yeah, the Falcons beat the 49ers 28-14, which was ridiculous. Just completely messed up my parlay. So, yes, that was the first game that messed up my parlay. For this week. Next, now this one isn't much of an upset, but I did pick the Browns to win. But the Patriots smacked the Browns 38-15. I mean, I'm talking. Excuse me. I'm saying Zappy. Bailey Zappy looked like insert great quarterback name. That's who he looked like. I mean, he was 24, 34 for 309, 2 TDs, no picks. Like, he's just doing his job. He's just doing what Bill Belichick wants him to do. Ramondre Stevenson had 2 scores on the ground on Sunday. 19 carries, 76 yards. Just, I mean, that's what the Patriots want to do. They want to run the football. Like, they want to run, but I mean, Zappy was throwing it all over the place. Like, and I know, like, we've seen people come in and, like, do great and stuff, but it's like, bro, all these new guys are just, like, doing incredible stuff. It's almost like, who is Mac Jones? Like, you sure Mac Jones gonna get the job back when he come back? Because, I mean, last time I checked, Bill Belichick benched Drew Bledsoe for Tom Brady, a six round pick, and Drew Bledsoe was making $100 million. Like, hey, listen, I know Mac Jones hoping and praying Zappy, fall short because, boy, you about to lose your job. No, I'm just playing. I'm just messing with you, Mac Jones. But Jacoby Brissett for the Browns, 21 of 45. Terrible. That's a terrible completion percentage for 266, 1 TD, 2 interceptions. I mean, couldn't do much. I mean, you fell behind pretty early. Uh, the Browns did, and they couldn't recover. Uh, Obviously, the best thing that the Browns do is run the football. Nick Chubb, arguably the best back in the NFL, but he only had 12 carries for 56 yards. Like, that's not going to win you a whole lot of games. So, I mean, I know, Browns fans was trying to keep the ship afloat, before Deshaun Watson comes, but if I'm gonna be honest with you, if y'all are pretty much out of it, if y'all are like week 11, if I'm not mistaken, but yeah, if y'all are like 3-8, you know what I'm saying, something like that, 4-7, I just don't know if I even bring Deshaun Watson back this year. I mean, I know it looks like a wasted year, but you know he comes back week 11. You still got another 7 weeks to play. By that time, who knows how far the Ravens might be. But then again, the Ravens and the Bengals not even really playing like how they should, and then the Steelers are the Steelers. So who knows? Maybe, but they definitely gonna have a decision, by that time. But if you're like out of it, like if they lose all the way till Deshaun comes, I wouldn't even bring Deshaun back because there's no reason to. Just get ready for next year and get you a hot draft pick. That's what I'm thinking if I'm the Browns. But yeah, Patriots smacked the Browns 38-15, washed them completely. Now this game. Now let me just say, one of my favorite sayings is to say that the Jets is ass. But I have to admit, I gotta give credit where credit is due. The Jets have been balling. They've been hooping for real, for real. Like the Jets have, I can't lie. The Jets have impressed me. The Jets have impressed me. First off, the Jets are 4-2. They beat the Packers 27-10, and their defense is, relentless. Let me see how many times they got after Aaron Rodgers. They had 4 sacks yesterday. Quentin Williams is just, he a monster. I can't lie. Quincy Williams, he's a monster. Like for real, for real. And I had to apologize to Jets and Jets fans, but listen, the Jets. Ooh, I think they second in the division right now, if I'm not mistaken, in that AFC East. Cause you got Buffalo. Yeah, I think. Whew. Oh my goodness, the Jets. I can't believe I got to talk good about the Jets. But Zach Wilson was 10-18 for 110 yards, no picks, no TDs. Again, it was really the defense. And I don't know what it is with Braxton Berrios, but every time he get a jet sweep or a reverse handoff, he's taking it to the crib. My boy, hey, he might got a little running back in him. But listen, Breece Hall, I ain't gonna lie, he might, okay, he might. He's in that running for Offensive Rookie of the Year. I can't even lie. To tell you the truth, the Jets might have the Offensive Rookie of the Year and the Defensive Rookie of the Year. In all honesty, because I'm looking at on the offensive side, Breece Hall, that running back, and then on the defensive side, I'm looking at Sauce Gardner. You feel me? I'm looking at Sauce Gardner. Sauce Gardner, after they beat the Packers in Lambeau, he had like a cheese head on and he was walking around. I ain't gonna lie, I like that. I like that little brashness, that little swag. I cannot front. Listen, Jets fans, I usually talk bad about y'all. But y'all have really been impressing me, for real, for real. And then Aaron Rodgers was just didn't have the best game. Was 26-41 for 246 yards, a TD, no interceptions though. And it's just like the Packers need to get. I don't know what's up with the Packers. I have no idea what's going on with the Packers, but they better shape up. I'm telling. Listen, Minnesota is not playing with y'all this year. I know usually the Packers have a very large margin of error, a large margin for error, but not this year. Not this year at all. Okay? The Vikings are not playing with the Packers. All right, the Packers got to get it together, and I don't know what it is. I really want to say it's because they don't have a receiver. They really need like a true number one wide receiver, and and it's funny because it's just Aaron Rodgers hasn't been playing like himself, and I can admit that. As much as I love Aaron Rodgers, he's my favorite player. I have to admit when he's playing poorly, and he just played a bad game. He's played a bad last couple games, in all honesty. So I can't even, you know what I'm saying, I can't even make no excuses for him. I really can't. On to the Vikings and Dolphins. Oh, excuse me. Wait, let me just say, yeah, Jets. They beat the Packers 27-10. Vikings are 5-1. Oh my goodness, that's crazy to say that the Vikings are 5-1. Kirk Cousins, but they beat the Dolphins. The Vikings beat the Dolphins. Kirk Cousins was 20 of 30, 175 yards, 2 TDs, no picks. Regular game, Dalvin Cook had 13 carries for 77 yards and a touchdown. Pretty decent day on the ground for Dalvin Cook. But it's just Minnesota is just their defense they've been playing for real. They really been playing. They had Teddy Bridgewater go 23 of 34 for 329 yards, 2 touchdowns and 2 picks. Obviously the Dolphins missed Tua. I mean that's what it is. But I mean they have nobody to blame but themselves. You know, if they would have did what they were supposed to do, they probably, you know, Tua would have only missed that Thursday night game against the Bills, and then, you know, that would have been it. That would have been it. He would have been back. So, but who knows? Dolphins are 3-3 right now, and in the AFC, I mean, wins are crucial. Wins are crucial in that conference, the AFC. So I don't know how it's looking. They say Tua's supposed to come back next week. I think week 7 was. I read a report that Tua's supposed to come back week 7. So we shall see. But I mean, how is he gonna look? Is he gonna be, you know, timid? Is he gonna be scared to get slung down to the ground again? Like, you know, is he, you know, what if he gets hit pretty hard? Like, is he gonna take himself out the game? Like, it's just so many factors, you know, when it comes to one playing a game of football. And then after coming off like an injury like that, where like it was all over the news. I mean, they're talking about it on CNN, not even sports networks, like news networks are talking about it. So it's like, how does that affect you, you know, as a player? You know what I mean? So we'll see. We'll see what happens. But the Vikings, they beat the Dolphins, man, 24-16. The Vikings, hey, they with it. I mean, they got my guy Justin Jefferson, so you know you can't be upset with that. Next, we had the Bengals and the Saints. The Bengals took this one 30-26. I didn't get a chance to watch this game. I'm not gonna lie. I was just kind of keeping up with the score, like on my phone, just kind of watching it. Joe Burrow was 28 of 37 for 300 yards, 3 touchdowns, no picks. That's a pretty good Joe Burrow game. I mean, listen, Joe is that guy. Joe Shiesty, he that man. Joe Mixon, I need a little bit more, man. 8 carries for 45 yards. I need more for my fantasy. Okay, but you know, listen, y'all won the game, so you can't be upset with that. Joe Burrow also had a rushing touchdown as well. So I mean, 4 total touchdowns for Joe Shiesty. I mean, look, the Bengals, they kind of need it. I mean, a lot of people had them either going back to the Super Bowl, you know, at least making a deep run in the AFC. I mean, that's the standard now. You just made it to the Super Bowl, so that's going to kind of be the standard now. So, I mean, with them being 3-3, they're still competitive in that AFC North division, but I mean, they got to step it up. But this was a good win for the Bengals. On the Saints side, I mean, Andy Dalton was 17 of 32, 162 yards, a touchdown, no picks. I mean, the Saints are the Saints. I mean, as long as Andy Dalton and Taysom Hill are your quarterbacks, I mean, what do you expect? I mean, it's like the Saints have a good team. They just don't have a quarterback. That's who really needs a quarterback is the Saints. I think if the Saints got a quarterback, they really could, you know, they could really do some things. But, you know, not sure. But, yeah, Bengals, they take that one The Saints, they fall to 2-4. The Bengals are 3-3. Um, for the Bengals. All right, next game, another. I mean, I guess it's not an upset because I mean the Giants. I mean now they're 5-1, but they were 4-1. But the Giants beat the Ravens, and I was watching this game. This was one of the early games. This was one of the 1 o'clock games. Um, I ain't gonna lie, I thoroughly enjoyed this game. I did. But, I mean, Lamar Jackson was 17-32 for 210 yards, a pick and a touchdown. I mean, that defense really had, they was really putting Lamar in some pressurized situations, and I just, to me, it's just like, dang, like Lamar really couldn't get nothing going. I mean, Kenyon Drake, stepped in. He had 10 carries, 119 yards and a touchdown, but it didn't help the Ravens any. Like, see, I think this is what the Giants always kind of talked about. Like, if Daniel Jones could just not shoot them in the foot, could just not turn the ball over, then they can actually win games. I mean, Saquon Barkley looking like the best back in the league. 22 carries, 83 yards. He had a touchdown. Daniel Jones was 19-27 for 173 yards, 2 touchdowns, and no picks. I mean, when you don't turn the ball over, like, again, you don't shoot yourself in the foot. So, I mean, the Giants, 24-20, it's crazy to say because I did not have the Giants nowhere near the playoffs or being good or anything. I mean, again, we're not even halfway through the season. We a third through the season, so I give you that. A lot of things could change in the next 11, 12 weeks, but I'm not going to shit on the Giants. The Giants are playing well. So are the Jets. So I got to give credit where credit is due. The Giants are playing well, and I did not see that coming. Like, Big Blue, they looking like Big Blue. They are looking like Big Blue. Now, I don't think they're going to make a deep championship run because they don't have a quarterback. But if they keep playing like this, where Daniel Jones doesn't turn the ball over, and that defense can really get after the quarterback, I mean, they can do it. The Giants have 4 sacks on Lamar Jackson, and you know how elusive Lamar Jackson is. It's hard to get him on the ground. So, on the Ravens side, I mean, like the Ravens are 3-3 again. I think they're tied with Cincy in that division. I don't know. I didn't have the Ravens making the playoffs. But, I had the Bengals win that division, but somebody's got to win it. So I don't know. But, we'll see. Listen, Ravens got to step up, man, for real, for real. Like, Lamar Jackson was looking like the MVP the first couple weeks of the season. Kind of cooled off a little bit. But, I mean, I think the Ravens are still in good hands. I mean, they got a great coach. They got a good quarterback. So we're going to see what happens with the Ravens. But, yes, the Giants beat the Ravens 24-20, man. Couldn't believe it. Now this was really an upset. The 1-4 Steelers, okay? The 1-4 Steelers beat the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. They beat Tom Terrific and the Bucks. Like, I couldn't believe it. I was watching the score. I was watching the score on my phone, and I'm looking like, what? Like, how is this even a game? But I guess that's what, like, when people talk about, like, playing for Mike Tomlin, like, how he's a great coach, these are one of these games. Like this is one of those games. Tom Brady, there were reports that Tom Brady didn't fly with the team to Pittsburgh. He had missed a walkthrough on Saturday as well. He went to Robert Kraft's wedding. I think Friday evening, Friday night, something like that. So he missed it. He didn't fly with the team to Pittsburgh, which is unlike Tom. Like, usually, like, when football season is upon us, like, you don't hear about Tom doing anything during football season. Like, it's all about football. But for him to go and then miss a walkthrough and then they lose, it's like, I know, obviously, if they would have won the game, nobody would care about Tom doing anything. But Tom hasn't looked like Tom this year. I mean, let's be honest. Like, it's nothing against Tom Brady, but he hasn't looked like Tom the Terrific, and a lot of it stems from their offensive line. I mean, their offensive line is not as good as it was last year, or even a year prior when they won the Super Bowl. So it's like dang, like what's going on with the Bucks. Luckily, they play in a terrible division, but even though they are tied with the Falcons right now, Falcons are 3-3, and so are the Bucks. So it's like, I mean, I don't think the Bucks are gonna lose that division, but they can't play around. The Bucks cannot mess around with this, for real, for real. Like, Tom, 25 of 40 for 243 yards and one touchdown. No picks though, but still, like, the Steelers. And the Steelers, I'm looking at Trubisky was 9 of 12 for 144 yards. He had a touchdown, and then Kenny Pickett was 11 of 18 for 67 yards and a touchdown. Like how y'all? I'm not getting it. But I'm looking at the Bucks. Let me look at the Bucks schedule. Let me look at their schedule. So they got Carolina next. Definitely a winnable game. Then they got Baltimore at home. Still up in the air about that game. Then they got the Rams, and then they got Seattle. So I mean, out of their next four, they really could be 2-2. The way that they playing. Now you're just 500. You feel me? Like, you're gonna be 5-5 by week 10. Like, that's not the Bucks that that I envisioned. I mean, I thought the Bucks were gonna again win that division pretty handily and compete in the NFC. But I don't know. You know what I'm saying? I have no idea. And I don't know what's going on with Tom. I know he's dealing with some off the field issues and things, but I never seen this from Tom Brady before. I never seen this, but yeah, man, the Bucks, they fell to the Steelers 20-18, and the Steelers with the Kenny Pickett experiment, it's like I don't know. Like, I think he's the future of their quarterback. He's their future quarterback though. Like, I like him. I like his poise and stuff. Obviously, he's a rookie, so making some decisions that that you wouldn't want your quarterback to make, but that comes with being a rookie. But I like Kenny Pickett. I like him for Pittsburgh. So, I mean, Pittsburgh, they gotta, and they had a lot of injuries too. With Minka being out and some key guys on the defense. Like, I mean, the Steelers. But again, listen, winners win games, and that's what the Steelers did. Then we had the Rams and the Panthers. The Rams smacked the Panthers 24-10. There's no reason to even talk about the Panthers. To me, I think the Panthers are in full fire sale mode. There was an incident with Robbie Anderson where he was kind of yelling at his position coach, and Wilkes, the head coach for the Panthers, just kind of sent Robbie Anderson in the locker room. Like, just kind of sent them in the locker room. I was like, well, that was kind of weird. But and then I saw yesterday that Robbie Anderson got traded to the Arizona Cardinals. So and I think they did that because Marquise Brown got hurt. He probably might be done for the year. We don't know, but I think that's why they made that move. So, and they've also reported that the Panthers are taking calls on Christian McCaffrey to see what they can get for him. Yeah, they might as well just get rid of everything, in all honesty. Like, they might as well just get rid of everything. Get DJ Moore out of there as well. Trade DJ Moore, because I think DJ Moore has some really good value. I think he could help, a contending team. I mean, I think the Packers should look into trying to get DJ Moore. Christian McCaffrey, I've been hearing a lot like maybe the Bills might take a stab at Christian McCaffrey. The question is how much does Carolina want for them? Because I don't think you're going to get a first-round pick for C-Mac, even though he is first-round type of talent. He's constantly hurt. You know what I mean? That injury bug has plagued him his entire career. DJ Moore, on the other hand, I mean, I think you could probably get a second, or a third for DJ Moore. I know Robbie Anderson, I think, went for a sixth and a seventh, but, then now I'm looking at it. Oof, Robbie Anderson went for 6 and 7. Maybe a fourth. Maybe you could get a fourth, a third round pick for C-Mac. I don't know. I'm not sure, but yeah, I think get C-Mac, get DJ Moore out of there. Um, Hell, if somebody would trade for Sam Darnold, I would entertain that. Just get rid of everybody. Accumulate as many picks as you can. Um, just send everybody away and start from scratch. Start from the ground up. Get you the number one pick, and then, you know, get you the number one pick and move forward that way. So, yeah, the Panthers are in full fire sale mode, in my opinion. No need to even really talk about that. The Rams, they're 3-3 again, tied with San Francisco in that division. Like, it's starting to, they look like the Rams a little bit. Better than they have in weeks past. So we'll give them that. Another division matchup: Seahawks and Cardinals. Seahawks beat the Cardinals 9-19. I don't know what Geno Smith did, what he drank, what he ate, who he talked to, and whatnot. But boy, is Geno Smith hooping. He is balling for real, for real. He's balling for real, for real. Geno Smith was 20 and 31, 197 yards. No picks, no touchdowns. Again, that's not a great game. It's not a good game by any standards. But what he's not doing is he's not hurting them. He's not hurting the Seahawks, and that's really all you can ask for from your quarterback. Don't kill us. Don't shoot us in the foot. But Kenneth Walker, the third, had 21 carries for 97 yards. He had a touchdown. I really like him. I picked him up in my fantasy league too. Not a lot of people know about him, but look, Kyler Murray was 23 of 37 for 222 yards. No picks. No touchdowns and a pick. And he also had 10 carries for 100 yards. It's like Kyler Murray is, that's really all the Cardinals got. Now, they do get DeAndre Hopkins back next week. So, that'll definitely be a dynamic, for the Cardinals. Like, gives, a great security guy. And they just got Robbie Anderson. So maybe the Cardinals' offense will look a little bit more, what's the word I'm looking for? Will look a little bit more explosive, if I can even say that, Maybe they'll look a little bit more explosive. But they got New Orleans coming up, Minnesota, they play Seattle again, then the Rams, then the 49ers, then the Chargers. Over that 6-game stretch, listen, the Cardinals, you could be like 2 and 10. I don't even want to say it. 2 and 8. It could be 2 and 8. Cause listen, you do not have an easy schedule. That Saints game is looking like the easiest game on that because Seattle already beat you. Even though Seattle ain't nothing to write home about, but they're above you in the standings. Arizona, like, what you gonna do? Again, I think DeAndre Hopkins coming back will help tremendously. Robbie Anderson will help a little bit, but yeah, the Cardinals got to start getting something going on offense because 9 points against Seattle, like, come on now, Arizona, that's pathetic. I'm sorry. It is what it is. That's pathetic. Now, this was the rematch, the game that everybody was looking forward to. Everybody and their mom was looking forward to, the Bills and the Chiefs. Last year's divisional round matchup, where the Chiefs scored where the Chiefs got in field goal range in 13 seconds. Yeah, that one. But the Bills ended up winning. Like I said, I just felt like the Bills, all around, from top to bottom, they just have the better team. They just have the better team. Even though I think Patrick Mahomes is a better quarterback than Josh Allen, but Josh Allen's right there. He's literally maybe a hair below Patrick Mahomes, if you want to say it, or they're on the same level. If you say they're on the same level, I'm not going to argue with you. You're not going to get no argument from Rich. You feel me? You're not going to get no argument from Rich about Josh Allen and Patrick Mahomes being on the same level. But Josh Allen was 27 of 40 for 329 yards, 3 touchdowns, no picks. I mean, Josh Allen played a clean game, like super clean game. And really, first off, Stephon Diggs 10 receptions, 148 yards and a touchdown. Like, and on 2 of the touchdowns, if I'm not mistaken, I think the Chiefs had like a rookie corner, out there, and I'm just like, Spags, like, you gotta know your personnel, man. You gotta know you got a rookie corner covering arguably one of the top 5 receivers in the NFL and Stephon Diggs, and then you got Gabriel Davis, who we know can ball. You had the rookie corner on him as well. Like, come on, man, what you doing? He needs help. Help me, okay? Help me. My man was screaming at like all night, like, what's up? And you still got him on arguably one of the best passing attacks in the NFL. I don't know how smart that decision was. I mean, Patty Mahomes didn't really have a Patrick Mahomes type game. He was 25 of 40, 338 yards, 2 picks, and 2 TDs. You don't really hear a lot about Patrick Mahomes really turning over the football, but he did in this game. I think, definitely put them, behind the 8 ball, and it's like, look, the Bills 5-1, Chiefs 4-2. I think these are probably the 2 best teams in the AFC. Do I think they're going to make the AFC Championship game? No, I do not, because I picked the Chargers, even though that pick is not looking as good as it did preseason. But yeah, I mean, it's really just a clash of the Titans. Mahomes and Josh Allen moving forward, I think that's kind of like your Peyton Brady matchup, like every year. Like, you were waiting to see that, arguably the 2 best quarterbacks in the league. Like, that's what we want to see. But the Bills took this one, man, 24-20 against the Chiefs, and I mean, that's what it is. I really think the Bills, they that deal. The Bills are that deal. Feel me? Then we had our Sunday night game, which was the Eagles and the Cowboys. Now, I picked the Eagles to win, even though, to go with my plan, Dallas should have won. But I'm glad that they lost. Anytime the Cowboys lose, I'm happy. I'm happy when the Cowboys lose. But Cooper Rush did not have a good game at all. 18 of 38, 181 yards, 1 touchdown, and 3 picks. Had 3 interceptions yesterday. I mean, Cooper Rush hadn't thrown a pick since he's been starting for Dak since week 2, right? Week 2? If I'm not mistaken, hasn't thrown a pick, been undefeated, and they run into a buzzsaw. The Philadelphia Eagles, they the real deal, man. They the real deal. I gotta give credit where credit is due. And I was skeptical. Because I said the Cowboys were gonna run away with this division, and now they're 2.5 games back behind the Eagles. So the Eagles have the best record in the NFL, best record in the NFC, best record in the NFC East. So you gotta give credit where credit is due for the Eagles, man. Jalen Hurts, 15 and 25, 155 yards, 2 touchdowns, no picks. Not a stellar game, especially with the yardage, but Jalen Hurts, they just make plays to win. Miles Sanders, 18 carries, 71 yards, and a touchdown for the Eagles. Like, the Eagles are their defense. Listen, big play Slay, like those big play Slay is really, I like him. I really do like Slay. I really do like him, as a corner. He's really good, and I like, I like his mechanics, I like his movement, stuff like that. And then AJ Brown, you can't talk enough about how it really is, feels to have a number 1 wide receiver. You can throw the ball to AJ Brown, and he just makes stuff happen. Like, he just makes plays. And then you got Devontae Smith, too. They both had a touchdown. AJ Brown was 5 receptions for 67 yards, and Devontae Smith 5 receptions, 44 yards. So, listen, the Eagles are rolling. The Eagles, they go into a bye week, though. They got a bye, right? Then after the bye, they got Pittsburgh. Then they got Houston, the Commanders, the Colts, and then Green Bay. I mean, the Eagles could be 10-0. They really could be 10-0 in their next, maybe even 11-0, because Green Bay is not who we think Green Bay is or what they should be. So the Eagles are looking pretty good right now, man. I know if I'm an Eagles fan, I'm definitely jumping for joy because they the bee's knees right now in the NFL. They are, and I'm so glad they beat the Cowboys. And Dak was throwing in the warm ups, and he said that he feels fine. So I'm pretty sure that Dak is probably going to start next week. I mean, they play the Lions in Jerry World. Like, what better way to give Dak Prescott like a warm up game, against the Lions, who are trash. I just got to say it. I know first couple of weeks I was like, are the Lions for real? No, the Lions are trash, like they always are. Then Monday Night Football game, we had the Broncos and the Chargers. This game, again, I don't know what's up with Russ, man. Like Russell Wilson, 15 to 28, 188 yards, a touchdown, no picks though. Like, Russell just don't seem like Russell. He don't, like, at all. Like, I don't know what else there is to say about it, but like, Russell Wilson does not look like the Russell Wilson of old. Like, he just looks old now. And it sucks because like the Broncos extend. I think he's till 2027, if I'm not mistaken. Oh, I just thought about it. 2026, 2027. Oof. Listen, I don't know. I don't know if Russ is gonna make it to the end of that contract because the Broncos are 2-4 now, and then in that division with Kansas City, with the Chargers and the Raiders. So I mean, the Raiders kind of stink, but they can do that. They can be better than that. Like, what's going on with the Broncos? I really don't know what's going on with the Broncos. Like, I know Williams, got hurt, but you still got Melvin Gordon. Like, and if I ain't gonna lie, I think Latavius Murray might have showed yesterday that, hey, I'm a little bit more valuable than Melvin Gordon. 15 carries, 66 yards, but like, he was really running that rock. Latavius Murray, he's a savvy veteran. He's been in the league for a while, so. And then on the flip side, Justin Herbert just had a terrible game. I mean, 37 to 57 for 238 yards, no TDs and a pick. Like, I don't know what's up with Justin Herbert. The Chargers not looking like how I want them to be. They are 4-2, so you got to give them that. They are 4-2. They're not, completely out of it. They're right there behind the Chiefs. They're tied with the Chiefs for the best record, but it's like, I don't know what's going on with this division, because it's crazy. Because I picked every single team in this division to make the playoffs, and now the Raiders and the Broncos making me look like a liar. Chargers still in it, Chiefs still in it, but they both the Broncos and the Raiders are really making me out to be a liar. But yeah, the Chargers they beat the Broncos 19-16 in overtime, like. And then, even in overtime, neither team could really get anything going. They both punted the ball back to each other. And I'm like, this is crazy. I'm watching it last night. Like, what's going on? You feel me? So, no, Chargers ended up getting in field goal range. And they beat the Broncos. So, that's it. Looking forward to next week. We got the Thursday game. We got the Saints and the Cardinals. I'm going to go with the Cardinals in that one. Short week. Where they playing at? Playing in Arizona. Yeah, Saints got to travel. I got the Cardinals winning that one. My Giants take on... Excuse me. Woo! Come on. I got to slap myself. My Giants? No. Not my Giants. My Jags take on the Giants this week. In Jacksonville. I'm going to the game, so y'all going to see me on there. Are we going to beat the Giants? Yes, I'm going to say yes, even though I don't have much faith in that pick because the Giants are good. The Giants are good, so I can't lie. But I got the Jags beating the Giants. Falcons, Bengals. I'm gonna go with the Bengals in that one. Lions, Cowboys. The Cowboys are gonna destroy the Lions. Lions have no answer for Dallas's defense. The Cowboys are gonna destroy the Lions, and it hurts me to say that. Colts, Titans. I'm gonna go with the Titans in this one. Titans coming off a bye. You feel me? So, I think Derrick Henry ready to run over some people. Packers, Commanders. The Packers better win this game. If the Packers lose to the Commanders, I ain't gonna lie, you might have to hit that alarm. You feel me? Like I know Aaron Rodgers always RELAX. Nah, they need to PANIC, okay, in Green Bay because it's not looking good. It is not looking good. You cannot continue to fall further behind Minnesota because Bucks, Panthers. The Bucks better beat the Panthers. They will. The Bucks will beat the Panthers. I think the Bucks will get it right. This week. Maybe didn't take the Steelers seriously. Kind of overlooked them. Who knows? Don't overlook the Panthers. If y'all lose to the Panthers, it might be time to panic in Tampa too. Ravens Browns division game. I got the Ravens in that one. The Browns, their offense, they can't do nothing but run the ball. That's it. They're one dimensional. So, and I have no faith in Teddy Bridgewater. So, excuse me, not Teddy Bridgewater. Jacoby Brissett. What am I talking about? Teddy Bridgewater. Jets Broncos. You know what? I'm taking the Jets, and that's crazy. Watch now that I'm hopping on the Jets bandwagon. They mess around and lose and have Russell throw for 1 billion yards on them. But I'm gonna go with the Jets in Mile High. They beat the Broncos. That's what I'm saying. Texans Raiders. I'm gonna go with the Raiders. Texans are just terrible. Their quarterback situation terrible. Seahawks Chargers. Playing SoFi. I'm gonna go with the Chargers just cause obviously I think they're a little bit better. Chargers defense, was really showing me something against the Broncos. Khalil Mack, looked like, old school Khalil Mack, so maybe he found a little rejuvenation. I got the Chargers over the Seahawks. Chiefs Niners. I'm gonna go with the Chiefs in that one. I'm gonna go with the Chiefs. I know the Niners playing at home in front of their fans, but I got the Chiefs. Just think that Chiefs offense is just a hair better. Well, no, the Niners defense is really good. I'm gonna go with the Chiefs. I ain't gonna backtrack. I'm gonna go with the Chiefs though. Dolphins Steelers. I'm gonna go with the Dolphins. They're playing down in Miami. That's a late game. And then Monday Night Football, Patriots Bears. I'm going with the Patriots, man. Patriots, they've been on a roll. They've been solid. So, and Zappy is zapping that ball in there. So I got the Patriots over the Bears in that one. All right. Now, on to the NBA. All right, before we close out. So, the NBA season starts, was it tonight? What's tonight? Tuesday? Whatever, the 18th, Tuesday. It starts on Tuesday, feel me, the 18th. And the first game is the Celtics and the Sixers. Pretty good matchup. I don't know who I'm going to take just yet. I'm going to go with the Sixers in this one. Because I was going to go with the Celtics, but, I don't know, with everything that happened over the offseason and stuff, maybe they might be a little distracted. They got to implement Brogdon into the game plan. The Sixers a little bit more fluid, you feel me? A little bit more fluid. And, I really like that addition of PJ Tucker, so we'll see what happens. But I got the Sixers in the early game. And then, obviously, the late game, ring night, ring ceremony for the Golden State Warriors. They're taking on the Lakers. I'm going to go with... I'm going to go with the Warriors in this one. Yeah, even though I hate the Lakers, I know it's LeBron and stuff like that. But you know what? Do I change? No, I'm going to go with the Warriors. I'm going to go with the Warriors. You see it right there. You feel me? Finals edition. Just to let you know. Finals. Okay? I'm going to go with the Warriors. I don't think the Lakers are going to ruin ring night for the Golden State Warriors. With everything that happened over the offseason with the Warriors, I mean, I think it's just, it just more fuels them. Jordan Poole got paid. Jordan Poole, he got a $140 million over 4 years. Definitely broke the bank for Jordan Poole, and he deserves it. He played extremely well. Jordan Poole finally addressed the punch situation with Draymond Green, and pretty much said, look, Draymond Green, he apologized. It is what it is. We're here to win a championship. We know what the goal is. So, you know, hey, listen, it seems like, again, I didn't think this was going to derail them, stuff like that. And then, Draymond's been back from his little hiatus from the team. So it's good. I think the Warriors, they use it as like a rallying cry. And I think they'll be pretty good this year. What I want to say. Just a quick side note. So I was looking at, LeBron James is 1,325 points behind Kareem, right? If you average that over 82 games, LeBron James would only have to average 16 points a game if he played all 82 in order to break the record by the end of the year, right? But we know LeBron James hasn't averaged, less than 25 points, since like the first couple of years of his career, something like that. So if we go to 20, if he averages 20 points a game, it'll take him 66 games to get it. But if he averages 25, which is more likely, I think 23 to 25 is more likely for LeBron James, all the games he plays, it'll only take him 53 games. So LeBron James is going to break the all-time scoring record this year. When he does, obviously, big congratulations to LeBron James, because he'll deserve it. I mean, just, model of consistency and excellence and greatness, and LeBron James is that dude. So I ain't gonna lie, if he mess around and he might break it in like Orlando, I ain't gonna lie, I might have to go to that game. I don't care what the tickets cost. You know what I'm saying? And obviously I'm going to go see LeBron James, not the Lakers. I will never do nothing like that. I will never, ever, ever ever root for no damn Lakers. But what I will do is I'll go support LeBron James. So that's that. So, all right, so now let's get into some NBA predictions. So, again, it's the beginning of the season. We got a long 82-game season till we get to the playoffs. So I want to give you my playoff predictions, who I think is going to win, and my yearly awards, right? As far as the NBA playoffs go, and I'm going to have to come back to this video. So let's do the Eastern Conference first, right? So I'm not going to lie to you. The four best teams in the East, in my opinion, I got the Milwaukee Bucks, I got the Boston Celtics, I got the Philadelphia 76ers, and I got the Brooklyn Nets. I think those are the four best teams in the East, right? Then after that, I got Cleveland. I think Cleveland will definitely be in the playoffs. Got Miami, right? Got Miami. Who else? I got in there. I'm not gonna lie. I think Atlanta gets in there. Right? And then, so that's the 8. Then I got 2 playing teams at 9 and 10. I don't want to sound like a homer, but I ain't gonna lie. I'm gonna have to say it. I think my Pistons. I think we get into the play-in. I honestly do. And I was gonna say Charlotte, but the thing with Charlotte, they just got too many. I don't know what's going on in Charlotte. Like, they just had another player arrested on like some DUI charges. It's like, yo, like, what's up? What's going on in Charlotte? Like, what's in the water in Charlotte that everybody keeps, you know what I'm saying, like, getting arrested. So that's 9. So I got Detroit, and in the last play-in spot, I'm gonna give it to Eastern Conference. I'm trying to run down. The Eastern Conference right now. Not the Knicks. Not. I'm gonna go with for my 10th team. I think I'm gonna go with. I don't know. Oh, Chicago. So the 10 teams that I got in the Eastern Conference, so I'm going to go with Milwaukee, Boston, Brooklyn, Philly, Cleveland, Miami, Chicago. I'm going to say Atlanta. That's 8. Detroit. And I'm going to go Toronto. I'm going to say Toronto. I think those would be the 2 playing teams, Detroit and Toronto. I think those are be the 2 that get in. Yeah, I'm sorry, Knicks fans. I'm sorry, Magic fans. Y'all are terrible. Hornets, I would put y'all in there, but y'all got a problem with everybody keep getting arrested. Like, what's up with that? Like, is that the new norm? Is that the new style now? Oh, play for Charlotte, get arrested. Like, is that the new thing? You feel me? Listen, I don't know. Sorry, Washington too. Washington, y'all ain't doing nothing. You know, it is what it is. And then, if I'm be honest with you, who I got winning the Eastern Conference? I mean, I gotta say Milwaukee. You know, I gotta say Milwaukee. I mean, obviously health is a big thing, but I just think Milwaukee's the best team in the East when when they're all healthy. And just with Boston, I would say Boston because I do think that Brogdon pickup was really the best pickup of the NBA offseason. But I would say that Ime Udoka situation, I don't know how much, Mazzulla, is going to be able to really motivate them if he is. It's a big task, It's a tall task. This is a team that was in the finals last year. So, there's only one place to go. There's only one step above that is to win the finals. So that's some pretty big expectations. So I don't know. I really don't know with Boston. I think Milwaukee's the best team. I would say Brooklyn. But the only thing about Brooklyn is that in the playoffs, like, when playoff basketball starts and they get physical with Brooklyn, are they going back down? Like, you saw how the Celtics got physical with Brooklyn last year. But I won't lie, Brooklyn has some new pieces. They got T.J. Warren, they got Royce O'Neal. They have Ben Simmons, who's a great defensive player. So, their defense should be okay. Like, I don't think it should be as bad as it was last year, but it should be okay. That's why I can't pick Brooklyn just yet. Philly. So I think Milwaukee's gonna win the East. I'm gonna just say it. I think Milwaukee's the best team. They're gonna win the Eastern Conference. They're gonna go to the finals again, right? That's my prediction. But obviously as this season goes on, I might change that. But that's who I got right now. I got Milwaukee. Now to my 10 teams in the Western Conference, right? Yeah. So look. So my 10 teams in the Western Conference. All right. Let's do it like this. I'm gonna go Golden State. I'm gonna go with Denver, the Clippers. I'm gonna go with Phoenix, Dallas, Memphis, Minnesota, New Orleans. That's 8. And then the 2 playing teams, I'm gonna say the Lakers, and I'm gonna go Portland. I'm gonna go Portland. Yeah, those are the 10 teams I think that's in the Western Conference that's making it. And believe it or not, as far as the Western Conference go and who I think I have winning the West, look, as much as I love LeBron James, and I would love for him to get his fifth ring, I just don't see it. Barring injury, it's just the West is just so good. The West is just really, really good. Yeah, I mean, I got Golden State. Again, I just don't see until somebody knocks off Golden State. I can't believe it. And if I'm be honest, I think the closest team is gonna be Memphis because I was looking last year if Ja Morant didn't get hurt in that Golden State series, I'm not saying the Grizzlies win, but boy is it very interesting. It really is. It's very interesting. I mean, Ja Morant makes that team go in Memphis. So we'll see. But I do think Memphis is probably the biggest threat to Golden State. I know a lot of people say the Warriors. I mean, excuse me, not the Warriors. The Clippers. But I need to see it. I got to see PG and Kawhi on the court at the same time. I know what they've done in the past. I know what they're capable of doing. But I got to see it with my own two eyes. Them on the court, that team with, John Wall, Reggie Jackson, Morris, Zubac. Like, I think the Clippers have a nice squad and they're extremely well coached with Ty Lue. So we'll see. But I still think it's Memphis. Memphis is the biggest threat to them. Denver, I love Denver, but in the playoffs it's like what you gonna do in the playoffs, Denver? You feel me? So I do think Memphis is the biggest threat to Golden State, and they gotta beat them. Till I see somebody beat them, I can't rule out Golden State. So I got Golden State, Milwaukee in the finals, and believe it or not, I'm gonna go with Milwaukee because I know that perimeter shooting of Golden State is gonna be crazy with the addition drip, but who's gonna stop Giannis? I mean, you have to really build a wall. And Draymond Green is really gonna be fighting. He really gonna have to back because the Warriors have nobody that can stop Giannis. They're gonna have to stop him as a team. Obviously Toronto gave you the blueprint, but are they gonna follow it? I don't know if Steve Kerr is. We'll see. But yeah, I got Milwaukee winning in 7, beating Golden State for the championship. So those are my team predictions. As far as awards. MVP this year, I'm gonna go with a fan favorite. I love him, I really do. I'm gonna go with Luka Doncic. I think Luka Doncic and Joel Embiid will be in the running for that again. I mean, Joel was came in second last year, so I think he'll be in the running again. But I got Luka Doncic for MVP. Who we got? Defensive Player of the Year. It's going to kind of surprise you, but I think it's really going to be, he's going to have that type of impact on defense because offensively, they don't need him to do that. I'm going to go with Ben Simmons. I'm going to go with Ben Simmons for Defensive Player of the Year. I know that's crazy. A lot of people, but I like Ben. I really do. I know he can't shoot, and he doesn't want to shoot, but he's an exceptional defensive player. Go back and look at him playing on defense and stuff, like when he was with Philly. Listen, Ben Simmons, that dude. I got Ben Simmons, Defensive Player of the Year. I'm going to go with Rookie of the Year. That's just a little bit of homer, but I'm going to go with Ivy from the Pistons. Even though Banchero down in Orlando might give him a run for his money, but I'm going to go with Jordan Ivy in Detroit. I'm going to go with Ivy for Rookie of the Year. What else we got? Sixth Man of the Year. I'm going to do Sixth Man of the Year. Now, if he comes off the bench, if he does come off the bench and he's happy with that role and he embraces it, even though I don't think so, I'm going with Russell Westbrook, Sixth Man of the Year. How does that sound? Like, how? I ain't gonna lie. I'm just tripping. I'm being disrespectful. I'm messing around. But honestly, Sixth Man of the Year could come from that team. I would go with Kendrick Nunn, you know, on the Lakers. But I mean, I think Kendrick Nunn is going to be playing so well, they're going to have to start him realistically. So I don't know. Does Westbrook go to the bench? But all right, I'm gonna go with Russell Westbrook or Kendrick Nunn for six man of the year. What we got? Most improved player. I'm gonna do most improved. Most improved. I'm gonna go with, this is another homer pick, but I'm gonna go with Cade Cunningham this year. I think Cade is really, really gonna come into his own, especially being the leader and the point guard of that Detroit Pistons team. Again, I don't want to sound like a homer, but I do low key sound like a homer. Most improved, I'm gonna go with Cade Cunningham. Coach of the year. Honestly, coach of the year, I really think coach of the year. I'm trying to think who. You know what? Coach of the year. You know what? I think I'm gonna go with Willie Green from the New Orleans Pelicans. And the reason I say that is because I really do feel like the Pelicans really could be a top 4 seed in the Western Conference. Like, the Pelicans have a squad, I'm telling you, with BI, with CJ, veteran, with if Zion can stay healthy, Valanciunas, who else they got down there? Hart, and who else? They got? They got some other pieces. Like, listen, the Pelicans, I think, might surprise a lot of people. If the Pelicans finish top 4 in the Western Conference, if they win, like, let's say they win, 45 plus games, I'm telling you, I think Willie Green might be up for Coach of the Year, because to me, that'll be a very well coached team to really put up those. If they get 50, I think Willie Green, top 4 seed in the Western Conference, home court advantage in the first round of the playoffs. Yup. I'm seeing it. So those are my predictions. So MVP Luka Doncic, Defensive Player of the Year Ben Simmons, Sixth Man of the Year Kendrick Nunn or Russell Westbrook, either or, whichever one's coming off the bench. Most improved, I'm gonna go Cade Cunningham. Rookie of the Year Ivy, and I'm gonna go with Coach of the Year Willie Green. So again, let me know in the comments, man, what you think. Who you think is winning this year's NBA championship. Remember, don't forget the NBA starts tonight. Yeah, the 18th tonight. You feel me? So make sure you tune in to all of that. And again, this has been Sports Vibes Podcast, where you know the vibes. Again, make sure you follow me on all social media platforms. Twitter, Sports Vibes Pod. Instagram, Sports Vibes Podcast. YouTube, Sports Vibes Podcast. You feel me? Make sure you tap in, you tune in. Let me know what you think about what was said, predictions that you got, all of that good stuff, man. And again, I thank you for your support. Continue rocking with me, man. I'm going to continue to rock with you. Till next week, see you later. Peace.